Welcome to Fresh Start. I'm Mary Beth, your host, and today we have a new look and a new season. Look at my new kitchen. Isn't it beautiful? I just love it. I want to say thank you to Channel 6 for giving me this wonderful new kitchen. Today we are going to make two different types of soup. My favorite soup now has to do with kale. Growing up as a child, I couldn't stand kale, but now I found out just how good kale can make you feel. So I want to share two of my favorite soups with you today, and I hope you enjoy them. So we're going to start out with some kale. And what I'm going to do with this kale is you're going to start out with about 5 to 6 different leaves of kale. And that's about a half a bundle. If you go to the store and buy a bundle, it's about half a bundle. So you're just going to tear it off of the stem here, or they call it the rib. And you're going to take it off in bite-sized pieces. And if you like it, smaller after you pull the leaves apart, you can chop it up with a knife to make it smaller if you like. I like it a little bit big just because when you put it in the hot broth, it does get smaller. Okay. It's always good if you can get someone to help you do this too. So just keep pulling. And kale has so many different benefits. It's full of iron, it's full of vitamin K. It also has omega-3s, which is a brain food, and a lot of people don't know that. Also, it is an anti-inflammatory. So if you have problems with arthritis, eczema, or any type of chronic pain, kale is a great natural food for that. A lot of people that come into the cafe, they ask me, I'm on a blood thinning medication. I don't recommend this soup for you because it can alter the blood clotting or prevent the medicine from working the way it should. So you can have a bowl, but I don't recommend any more than that. And if you don't want to use kale, you can use collard greens, you can use spinach. You don't have to use kale. Just kale's my favorite. All right, once you get this chopped up, we're going to move it to the side. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to chop an onion up. And it's just half an onion or one small onion. And onions are so good for, they're known as G-bombs. And a G-bomb is, along with mushrooms, is known as a cancer preventer. And so if you're like me, you want to take really good care of yourself and eat anything you can that tastes good, that especially prevents cancer. So you're just going to chop this, and again, if you want bigger pieces of onion, you can make it bigger, but I like it kind of medium chopped. And again, it's half an onion or one small onion. So you're just going to put that to the side with your kale. And this first recipe has lemon in it. So if you love lemon, lemon's very good for you. It's alkaline, it's detoxing. So this soup is very savory and it's full of lemon. It's full of, I love the flavor of lemon. So if you've never really been crazy about lemon, you might be surprised by this soup. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, you are going to turn the oven on medium. You're going to add 2 teaspoons of olive oil. And I have a little broth in there right now. So it's maybe 3 teaspoons of broth, 2 teaspoons of rosemary, and about 1 teaspoon of garlic. It could be chopped garlic or fresh garlic. If you use fresh garlic, it's 1 clove of garlic. And then about a teaspoon of thyme. We're going to get that going real good. So I'm just going to stir that up, and it smells fabulous. So when you get that stirred up really good, you're going to throw your onion in. And rosemary, I never really ate a lot of rosemary till I started eating healthy. It's actually a natural antidepressant. So sometimes in the summer I'll grow rosemary on my front porch and eat a twig of it if I'm having a stressful day. And it actually does help. So it sounds crazy, but it works. So this soup is not only an anti-inflammatory, it's an antidepressant. All right, that's going to get going really good. You want to get it really hot and it bubbling. All right, I'm going to chop the kale up just a little bit more. It's starting to sizzle now. And that's what you want right there, is for it to kind of start to sizzle. Dropped a few pieces of kale in there, but that's perfectly fine. And then you're going to take the juice of 1 lemon. You can either juice it just by squeezing the juice out of it by hand, or if you have a juicer at home, it's great to just juice it, skin and all. And make sure it's organic though. If it's not organic, I highly recommend you peel it. But this is an organic lemon, and that's the juice of 1 lemon. I'm going to pour that in. It's really starting to smell good in here. Okay, so we're going to let that start and throw the rest of this onion in. Stir a little bit more. When I was a little girl, I always saw kale around a salad bar. I never knew I could eat it. It would make me feel good. I love it in smoothies and juices. So I'm so excited about this season because we're going to do so many different recipes, and I know you're going to love them. And if you see me out and about, just if you have a question, just stop me and ask me. All right, that's bubbling up really good. So before the show started, I did make some white beans. I love to make great northern white beans. So all I did was I did 1 pound of white dry beans, and I cooked them in just water, olive oil, and a little sea salt. So I did a 1 pound bag. So after that 1 pound bag is cooked, about an hour, hour and a half on medium heat, you're going to pour this into your mixture. And that's going to heat up. And you're going to take about a cup of vegetable broth. And you can get this anywhere. You can make your own just by boiling some vegetables together and then straining the broth, just like carrots or just whatever you have laying around the house or in the fridge. Grab the lid for that. Before I put the lid, throw the kale in. And again, you can put as much kale as you want. Like if you like a lot of greens, if you don't use kale, as much collard greens or spinach as you would like. And some more onions. I'm just going to push it down. And beans are good for so many things. They're full of fiber. Of course, your kale also, I think I told you earlier, has omega-3s, and this soup is just a power punch of nutrients, and it tastes good. So I like a little salt, so I do use a Celtic sea salt. It's a gray salt, so this is my favorite salt, more so than the pink. They're both good salt, but this one's my favorite. It gives it a little bit more flavor. This is actually my secret at the cafe, so is the salt. Put a little bit more broth in that, just because we want it to be pretty soupy. Okay. The last thing we're going to do is put a little butter in there, but it's plant-based butter. The butter I'm using is Earth Balance. It is a soy-free. It is an Earth Balance butter. It's soy-free, non-GMO, and vegan, which means plant-based. Let me grab another spoon here. So, and that's about 2 spoonfuls, about 2 teaspoons of just butter. And that's going to give you your savory, buttery flavor. Some more onions still in here. I'm going to cover that up. just going to switch out my pans here. And we're going to start the next soup. All right, the next soup has mushroom, kale, garlic, tomatoes, and chickpeas. So when you start this soup, I've already kind of started the boiling of mushrooms, a little veggie broth, onions, and garlic. So add the spices. I'm going to chop up some mushrooms, and I just bought a 16-ounce pack at the store. Wash and rinse them really good. And you can pour them straight into the pot if you want to. I like them just chopped up just a little so that when I do get a bite of mushroom, it's not too much mushroom. Just stick that in there. Throw a few whole ones in there. And this soup is really good either with a sandwich. Either one's good with a sandwich or even a salad. So we're going to do a salad with these. And I like to mix fruit and veggies together when I make a salad. It just gives it an extra little kick. It's sweet and tart. All right. There's some more garlic in here. And the garlic for this is about 2 teaspoons also. Just gonna let that boil. I'm gonna reach over here and grab an onion. And this is also about half an onion, or small, very small onion. Doesn't take a lot of onion for this one. So while that's cooking, I'll put this here just so it'll cook a little bit quicker. And you cook this on high, medium heat to high. So what I'm doing while that's cooking is I'm chopping up and dicing an onion. And again, any size, like if you like the onion chopped a little bit bigger, it's fine. Okay. So what you're going to do is let that cook down for about 7 minutes. And that's why I started just a little early, just because it does have to cook down just a little bit. And just to add a little bit of veggie broth or water. Veggie broth gives it more flavor. So you might want to, I guess, get the veggie broth just a little bit above the mushrooms, not much, just enough to make it soupy, because you want it to boil pretty good. Put that over there. All right, this has fresh tomatoes in it, so while that's cooking, we're going to do some fresh tomatoes. And usually 1 to 2 medium-sized tomatoes. These are organic, actually, so probably a couple of these. I've already chopped one up, so I'm just going to chop one more. And I always cut the ends off, and I just dice them. And if you like it bigger than the dice size, you can make it as big as you would like. And again, this soup, you don't have to use kale. If you want to use spinach or collard greens, it's fine also. My favorite is just kale. Smelling really good in here. All right, so while that's boiling, I'm going to add my spices to it. It's going pretty good now. Smells so good. So you're going to have onion powder, and it's about 2 teaspoons. Sprinkle over that. Garlic powder, about 2 teaspoons. A little sea salt. Let's just do a little bit more. All right, and then the crushed red pepper flakes, and this can make it spicy, so use your own judgment on how much you really want to use. If you like it spicy with a kick, you can use a little bit more. I like it spicy with a kick, but since I'm probably going to share this soup, I'll only do 1 teaspoon. Give this a stir. Smelling good. Let's check the other soup here. Move it along. All right. So I'm going to grab some kale. And again, it's about half a bundle of kale. Sometimes this particular soup will take a little bit more. I can go ahead and put my tomatoes in. One small tomato. And chickpeas. Chickpeas are full of protein. Because I don't eat a lot of any meats, or if you're trying to cut back on the meat, this right here is great for people that's trying to cut down just a little bit. To your mixture, I'm going to add the rest of the broth. So I ran out of broth, so you can add water. Just a little bit's all we're going to add. Because this soup right here, you don't want to be too soupy. So if it's cooking really good, you can just tear your kale apart right over the pot itself. And if you juice, you can juice these, so you don't have to throw everything away. So again, this is about half a bundle of kale, or if you want to do the whole bundle, you can. I love the whole bundle, but since my soup is pretty hearty right now, I'm just going to stay with half a bundle. We'll do one more. Okay, stir this up. Smelling good. All right, so while that's cooking, we're going to do a salad. And I'm always making my own dressings, and so every now and then I want someone else to make it. So I was in a store and I found a salad dressing that is completely plant-based, and I brought it today just so y'all could see. If you don't have time, you're in a hurry, because we're all in a hurry. The Just Ranch. If you've seen the Just Mayo brand, it's completely plant-based, healthy. Just give it a try and see if you like it. You cannot tell the difference. So Just Ranch is the newest thing that I just found here in our small town. And I'm going to pull this plate here. Move some stuff around. What we're going to do, put my plate here. So I got some organic greens. And these you can get at farmer's market, you can get at the grocery store. And I just usually get the mixed organic greens. And I try to, chop up some tomatoes. Put on there. A few cucumbers. And this is going to look like you've worked all day in the kitchen, and you haven't. And just slice up some onions, throw them on top like that. Put a few berries. A little avocado in the center. And then we will get a bowl. Okay. So we're going to go with the lemony kale. Since that's my favorite, I really want you to see how this looks in a bowl. This has to be one of the mini soups that really, really surprised me as far as taste. I was blown away just because I just really didn't, lemon's okay, I like it, but I didn't know I'd be this crazy about this soup. But it's really good. It's got a nice beany flavor, it's buttery, and then you have that lemon flavor that gives it just enough flavor to make you want more. And the best thing is it's good for you. There's nothing bad in this. Set that on a plate, and voila, you can serve. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. I've had a ball cooking these wonderful soups for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, if you see me in the store, please ask me about these recipes. I'll definitely help you out there. Again, thanks so much for tuning in to Channel 6, and I hope to see you next time on Fresh Start Wellness.